Hey everybody, welcome to Dude Food. On today's show, I'm going to show you how to make beef sausages at home. It's very easy, it's a very basic recipe. Basically, it's a primer on how to make any sausage. So you can feel free to embellish in any way that you like, but it's summer, and we should be grilling more and definitely grilling our own homemade sausages. I put links on everything that you need that I talk about on today's show, gear, whatever, on mylifeasafoodie.com. Go to the website, check it out. I've pretty much provided everything you'll need. One additional thing. If you're going to really get serious about making sausages, buy the book Charcuterie by Michael Ruhlman. It's about $25. Best $25 you'll ever spend. It is virtually the Bible for anybody who's interested in making sausages, bacon, anything I talk about in Dude Food, for the most part, is in charcuterie. So let's get started. You're going to need a meat grinder. I bought the attachment for my KitchenAid stand mixer on Amazon.com for about $50. If you want to go old school, you can buy a hand grinder for $30 or $40. You'll also need a sausage stuffer. The stuffer attachment for the KitchenAid mixer is about $10, but I didn't care for that. Huge pain in the ass. So I bought this manual stuffer from sausagemaker.com for about $50. Since I'm not into eating lips and assholes and whatever the hell else they find to put into store-bought sausages, we're going to use short ribs for this recipe, about 2.5 pounds. Get everything cold, including the grinder, okay? This is important to maintain good texture in sausage. Get the meat frozen, then bring it back to defrost until it's almost pliable but still hard. Now look at all that fat. That is good. You want that. It makes for a really nice texture when we're done. You'll need some hog casings. Now these can be purchased at any ethnic store like Italian markets or a butcher shop. Ask around. They're packed in salt, so we'll want to rinse them in water to get the salt off. Then soak them in hot water for about 30 minutes to an hour. They can soak while we grind our meat. Now we're going to start feeding our chunks of meat into the meat grinder one by one, taking care not to get your fingers too far into that tube, okay? Listen, I'm sure your finger tastes delicious, but not in my sausage. This meat grinder comes with a plunger. Use that. Keep pushing the meat down. Keep feeding it until you see sausage start to come through and fall into the bowl that you've laid out below. Listen to me. Grinding your own meat, best thing you can do. Ground beef will never taste the same once you start doing this. Now that the meat's been ground, we'll put the bowl in the fridge and we'll get started on our spice mix. We have 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of dry mustard, 1 tablespoon of hot paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 3 minced cloves of fresh garlic, not the bottled shit, and some ground white pepper. Not black, white. Black is beautiful, but not in my sausage. About 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon, and then mix all that up. Look at that. Looks like shit. Toss it into the meat. Now we're going to sweeten things up with a little bit of light corn syrup. About 2 tablespoons or so, give or take. Don't overdo anything right now, because we're going to taste it. You can add more later. Now we're going to put that paddle attachment on our stand mixer and start blending the sausage mixture on speed 3 or 4 and slowly drizzle in about 1 cup of ice cold water. And I mean ice cold, okay? Don't just grab a cup of tap water. Use good stuff or get fancy. If you want to add a cup of ice cold beer or wine, do that. Drizzle it in. We're basically making a big meat emulsion here, okay? Because when we're done, the texture will look like this. Now that is some serious meaty goodness right there. That is sausage. Now's the time we're going to sample this, okay? So grab a tablespoon, cook it in a pan, and taste it. If it needs your salt or anything else, add it now before we stuff it. Okay, so we've got the stuffer ready, and with clean hands, okay, wash your hands really well, okay? We're going to add the sausage mixture into the top of the stuffer. Push it down until you filled it fairly high, and then start pushing that meat through the stuffing tube until you start to see the sausage start to come out. But don't let it fully come out. I'll explain why we did this here in a second. Okay, we're going to take one of these hog casings that have been soaking in water. We're going to take it out and carefully thread it onto the front of the sausage tube. Now this takes some patience, okay? The first few times you try this, take some patience, but once it's on, you're in. Now keep your hands in the tube wet with water, and once it's on, you can start rolling the casing toward the back of the tube until you've got about 4 inches left, so you've got room to tie it off. Now listen, the reason why we filled that tube with sausage was because once we tie that casing at the end here, it's going to fill with air when we push anything through the stuffer. So we want sausage, not air, in that tube. Okay, so tie a nice knot in the casing, roll it to the end of the tube. Now, stuff, boy! Be careful, okay? Don't push too hard or you're going to break the casing. Nice and easy. Help that sausage out. yank a little on the sausage to make sure the casing doesn't stick. This wouldn't be the first or last time you yanked your sausage, guys, so I know you can do this part fairly well. Once you've gotten close to the end of the casing, leave yourself about 5 inches or so you can tie it off. Get a nice knot on the other sausage end, and now we have one big full link. And now we twist. However long you want your sausages, press where you want to create a link, and then twist that sausage about 8 to 10 times. And then repeat this as you go down the link. Just make sure that you twist in the opposite direction as you did the previous one. And when you're finished, your sausages should pretty much look like this. But we don't want to cook them right away, okay? Put them in the refrigerator for at least 6 hours, let them set, or until you're ready to use them. They'll last about 5 days in the fridge, so you can freeze the rest. If you like to grill them like I do, grill them. If you want to boil them, do that. However you like your sausages prepared, do your thing. But we're on summer's doorstep right now. The grill is just the place for me to be. Now listen, as I said, you can feel free to embellish on this recipe any way you like. This is just the basics, okay? Making sausage, there's nothing like it. Family functions, you're outside in a grill. It's a summer thing for me. My name is Phil. This has been Dude Food, and I'll see you next time.